In a small town in England many years ago, a boy was born in a poor house. His mother was very weak. She had walked a long way on the road before she reached the workhouse. She was tired, sick, and close to death. When the baby came into the world, she looked at him with faint eyes. She kissed him gently and then closed her eyes forever. She died the same night, leaving the newborn all alone. No one even knew her real name. The baby was given the name Oliver Twist by the parish beadle, Mr. Bumble, who enjoyed giving strange names to orphaned children. Oliver was now an orphan, with no father or mother to care for him. He grew up in the workhouse, a place where poor children were kept and fed. But the food was very little, and the care was rough. He was given only thin soup, a piece of bread, and sometimes a little oatmeal. The children were always hungry. Their clothes were old and torn, and they often felt cold in winter. Oliver was small, pale, and gentle. He did not fight like some of the other boys. He often looked out of the window and dreamed of a better life, though he had never seen one. The workhouse masters were cruel. They thought poor people had no right to comfort or happiness. When Oliver was about 9 years old, he was sent to a larger workhouse with many boys. Here, the famous incident happened. The boys were so hungry that they decided one night that someone must ask for more food. They whispered and pushed, and finally, the lot fell on Oliver. After supper, when the master was still standing by the big pot of soup, Oliver walked forward holding his bowl. His heart beat fast. His hands shook, but he gathered courage and said the famous words, "Please, sir, I want some more." The master stared at him. His eyes grew wide with anger and surprise. "What?" he cried. "More? You want more, boy?" The other boys trembled. Oliver repeated softly, "Please, sir, I want some more." This act of courage shocked the whole workhouse. The master shouted for Mr. Bumble the beadle. Mr. Bumble came running, puffing with anger. "What's this? What's this? A boy asking for more food? This is an insult to the rules." Oliver was locked up, and a notice was posted that anyone who wanted an apprentice could take him away. They even offered £5 to any master who would accept him. Poor Oliver sat alone, crying in his little room. He had not asked for much, just a little more food to satisfy his hunger. But in the hard world of the workhouse, this was treated like a crime. Soon, Mr. Bumble took Oliver to be apprenticed to Mr. Sowerberry, an undertaker. Mr. Sowerberry was a tall, thin man who made coffins and arranged funerals. His house was dark, with the smell of wood and polish. Mrs. Sowerberry, his wife, was harsh and unfriendly. She looked at Oliver and said, "A pale little thing, not strong enough, but he will do to follow funerals." Oliver was given a little food and a place to sleep among the coffins in the workshop. His heart was sad, but he was glad to leave the workhouse. He thought perhaps life here would be better, but he was mistaken. Noah Claypole, another boy who worked for Mr. Sowerberry, was rude and jealous of Oliver. He often mocked him, calling him workhouse boy. Charlotte, the maid, laughed at Oliver too. Only Mr. Sowerberry sometimes showed him a little kindness. One day, Noah insulted Oliver's dead mother, saying she was nothing but a poor beggar woman. Oliver's face turned red with anger. For the first time in his life, he fought back. He jumped on Noah, hitting him with all his strength. Noah screamed loudly for help. Mrs. Sowerberry rushed in, pulled Oliver away, and scolded him bitterly. She even beat him. That night, Oliver lay on the coffin boards, crying with all his heart. He thought of his unknown mother, of his hunger, and of his misery. He decided that he could not bear this life any longer. Before dawn, with silent steps, he opened the door and ran away into the dark streets. He did not know where he was going, but his young heart longed for freedom. Thus Oliver's journey began, a journey full of hardship, danger, and strange adventures. After the fight at Mr. Sowerberry's house, Oliver decided to run away. He walked through the dark streets with tears in his eyes. He had no money, no food, and no friends. The road was long and lonely. Still, Oliver kept walking, step after step, because he wanted freedom more than anything. For days he traveled on foot. Sometimes kind strangers gave him a little bread, but mostly he went hungry. His clothes grew dusty and his feet hurt badly. Yet, London was like a shining dream in his mind. He had heard people say it was a big city where there was work for everyone. At last, tired and weak, Oliver reached the outskirts of London. He sat by the roadside, not knowing what to do next. Suddenly, a boy about his own age came up to him. The boy was dressed in a funny manner, with a big cap and a sharp look in his eyes. He smiled and said, "Hello, young fellow. You look hungry. My name is Jack Dawkins, but my friends call me the Artful Dodger." Oliver told him his sad story. The Dodger listened carefully and then said, "Come with me. I know a place where you'll get food and shelter." Grateful, Oliver followed him through the busy, noisy streets of London. The Dodger led Oliver to a dark old house in a poor part of the city. Inside, a group of boys sat around a table, laughing and joking. An old man with a sharp face, small eyes, and red hair welcomed Oliver warmly. This was Fagin, the master of the gang. Fagin gave Oliver food, which the hungry boy ate with joy. Then Fagin showed him handkerchiefs and watches. The boys played games, pretending to pick them from one another's pockets. Oliver thought it was just a strange kind of play. He did not understand that these boys were all thieves, trained by Fagin. That night, Oliver fell asleep on a small bed, thinking he had at last found friends. He did not know he had stepped into a dangerous world. The next morning, Oliver woke up in Fagin's house. The old man smiled at him kindly and gave him bread and tea. Oliver felt safe for the first time in many days. He thought Fagin was a good man who cared for poor children. But soon, Oliver saw something strange. Fagin showed the boys how to slip a hand into someone's pocket and take out a watch or a handkerchief. The boys laughed and practiced as if it were a game. Oliver thought it was only play, and he clapped when they did it well. He never guessed it was real stealing. One day, the Artful Dodger and another boy, named Charlie Bates, asked Oliver to walk with them. They went into the busy London streets. Oliver was happy to go along. Soon they stopped near an old gentleman who was reading a book outside a shop. Oliver watched in shock as Dodger's quick fingers slipped into the man's pocket and pulled out a handkerchief. At that moment, Oliver realized the truth. These boys were thieves. Before he could move, the old gentleman turned and saw Oliver standing close. Dodger and Charlie ran away, but Oliver was caught. The people shouted, "Stop thief!" A crowd chased him. Poor Oliver tried to explain, but no one listened. He fell, weak and frightened, and the gentleman's handkerchief was found on the ground. The old man, whose name was Mr. Brownlow, looked at Oliver closely. The boy's pale face and innocent eyes touched his heart. Instead of sending him to prison, Mr. Brownlow decided to take Oliver home and care for him. For the first time, Oliver found kindness in the world. Mr. Brownlow took Oliver to his own house. It was warm and clean, so different from the workhouse or Fagin's den. A kind housekeeper named Mrs. Bedwin looked after him, giving him soft food and medicine. Oliver lay in bed for many days, resting and gaining strength. When he woke, he saw gentle faces instead of cruel ones. Mr. Brownlow spoke kindly to him, asking nothing but honesty in return. The old gentleman believed Oliver was good at heart, though the world had treated him badly. Oliver loved this new life. He sat by the fire, read books, and even helped with small tasks. He felt for the first time that he belonged to a family. Sometimes, when Mr. Brownlow looked at Oliver, he seemed strangely moved, as if the boy reminded him of someone dear. But danger was not far away. Back in the city, Fagin and his gang were worried. They feared Oliver might tell the police about them. Fagin joined forces with a cruel man named Bill Sikes and a clever woman called Nancy. They planned to bring Oliver back by force. One afternoon, Oliver was sent on an errand for Mr. Brownlow. As he walked happily through the street, Nancy suddenly appeared, pretending to be his sister. She cried loudly and told passers-by that Oliver was running away from home. Before Oliver could explain, Bill Sikes seized him roughly. The crowd believed Nancy's story, and poor Oliver was dragged back to Fagin's dark house. Once again, Oliver was trapped in the hands of the thieves. His heart was full of fear, but also hope because he had known kindness, and he wished to return to it. Back in Fagin's house, Oliver begged to be set free, but no one listened. Fagin laughed and told him he must do as he was told. Bill Sikes, the rough man with a cruel face, needed a small boy for a dangerous job. Oliver was chosen. One dark night, Sikes took Oliver with him on a burglary. They walked far through the cold streets until they reached a quiet house. Sikes forced Oliver through a small window, ordering him to unlock the door from inside. Trembling with fear, Oliver entered. But before he could do anything, the servants woke. Shots were fired and Oliver was wounded in the arm. Sikes ran away, leaving the injured boy behind. The owners of the house, kind people named Mrs. Maylie and her niece Rose, found Oliver bleeding. At first, they thought he was a thief. But when they saw his innocent face, they believed his story. They cared for him lovingly and kept him safe in their home. For many weeks, Oliver rested with them, surrounded by kindness. He grew stronger and happier. Yet Fagin and Sikes still searched for him, afraid their secrets would be revealed. While Oliver was living with the Maylies, strange things were happening in London. A man named Monks, dark and mysterious, visited Fagin often. He had a secret connection to Oliver. Monks hated Oliver and wanted to destroy him. He offered Fagin money to keep the boy trapped in a life of crime. But fate was on Oliver's side. Nancy, the woman who once helped capture him, began to pity the boy. Though she lived among thieves, her heart was not evil. She secretly told Rose Maylie about Monks and Fagin's plans. Risking her life, Nancy revealed that Oliver was actually the child of a rich man. Monks was his half-brother, trying to steal Oliver's inheritance. Sadly, Bill Sikes discovered Nancy's betrayal. In a rage, he killed her cruelly, a crime that shocked even Fagin's gang. Sikes tried to run, but the people of London rose against him. Trapped on a rooftop, he fell to his death. Fagin, too, was caught by the police. His dark empire of crime ended, and he was taken to prison to face justice. At last, the truth came out. Mr. Brownlow, who had searched for Oliver, learned the whole story. Oliver was indeed the son of a gentleman. His mother, who died giving birth, had once been a dear friend of Brownlow's. Monks confessed everything, and Oliver's rightful inheritance was restored. Oliver was overjoyed to be united with Mr. Brownlow and the Maylies. For the first time, he had a real family, a home, and love. No longer would he suffer hunger or cruelty. The story of Oliver Twist became a lesson for many. It showed how the poor and helpless were often treated harshly, and how kindness could change a life. Oliver, the small boy who once asked for more, found more than food. He found love, justice, and peace. And so, dear listener, the story of Oliver Twist comes to an end. From a poor workhouse boy, he grew into a child of hope and love. His life teaches us that even in the darkest places, goodness can shine, and kindness can save. Close your eyes now and rest with the gentle thought that love and justice always win in the end.